not so much an island as a battleground.
Now mind those bikes, they're the new Nortons.
Not so much racing as a reckoning.
The world's greatest road race and the world's greatest riders.
A legacy like no other. The Isle of Man TT.
So what sort of history will we witness today?
Will we see the ordinary do the extraordinary? Like Stanley Woods, a toffee salesman who became the sport's first superstar.
Do you like the sound of that? I said, do you like the sound of that, Stanley?
Or will we see a genius like Jeff Duke rewrite the rule book?
Another record. He's been going like the wind.
They said Jeff didn't ride round here. He flowed like water. So smooth.
Maybe we'll see a superhuman effort.
On the left, Giacomo Agostini, and beside him, Mike Hailwood. It's victory again for Mike Hailwood.
So, Mike, was that hard work?
You could say that.
Or will we see the epic fight that's too close to call? Hizzy and Foggy remorselessly driving each other to new heights.
The lead's slopping on every lap.
And it's history. A win for Hislop and a win for Norton.
It's the most exciting motorsport battleground in the world. Always has been. Always will be.
So, what kind of history will we witness today?
Who will the history makers be today? We don't know. We know there are plenty out there capable of rewriting the history books. Hello and welcome to the 2015 Isle of Man TT. Finally, welcome to race day, the Superbike TT coming to your TV screens tonight. And Steve Plater, thanks to all the delays and all the hanging around, this island is ready to burst with excitement now, isn't it?
So much emotion in the paddock this morning and so many different feels and different riders. You know, you've got Bruce Anstey kind of casually walking around signing autographs, which is not normal for Bruce. He's obviously on a good day. You have Michael Dunlop, he's quite happy to go. Gaz Johnson, he's desperately changing shock absorbers, front fork springs, and not happy. This pit lane was actually very, very quiet 3 minutes ago. Now look, these guys are just as nervous as the riders.
Yeah, all the teams here have a huge role to play because there are 2 pit stops in this race and they've been practicing the refueling and cleaning the visors and all the various bits and bobs. So they're very tense as well, and literally they're all waiting there for the gate to be open for them to rush in. There's a great sense of tension in the air, isn't there?
No, of course not, you know, and these guys in the pit lane, every second counts if you need to stand on that podium. It's so, so important. So they're just as nervous and desperate to get everything tip-top and ready to go.
And thankfully conditions are absolutely perfect here in Douglas at the grandstand. Up on the mountain, the sun is shining, the course is in perfect nick. It wasn't yesterday. Well, the wind so bad it cancelled all the race plans, so the schedule has tightened up for race week. This is how it all looks. The RST Superbike TT is our festival opener, and then the sidecars, who have had the longest wait so far this year, finally get racing, followed by the Super Stock TT and the first of the Super Sport races. On Wednesday, another busy one, the TT0 starts the morning. Then we have the second of the Super Sport races and the final sidecar race of 2015. On Friday, the lightweight TT starts the day, the senior TT finishes the festival. Isn't this a great scene? All the pit crews getting fueled up, getting ready for those 2 pit stops. Superbike race coming your way very, very soon indeed. There have been delays and so many of the riders really tense because some of them were ready to go to race the minute they arrived on the island. The likes of Bruce Anstey, for example, and John McGuinness. But there are quite a few out there who can compete for this one. It's set to be the toughest Superbike race we have had in years. Steve's going to run us through the main contenders.
Now, I've actually picked 7 potential winners here today. I'm going to call them the Magnificent 7, in no real order. John McGuinness, 21 times winner around here. He's on a bike that he knows. He's fit and he's well after his incidents last year, and I think he can be back at the top step. his teammate Connor Cummins. Never won a TT, but if he does, the whole Manx Island will invade the track, I think, because everyone wants him to. After that huge accident he had, he is also fit, remember, on the podium twice here last year. Another man on a Honda, Bruce Anstey. What can you say about him? The fastest ever man around this circuit. He can do it. He's never won a big bike race, and he's desperate to do so. He'll also be there. On the BMWs, Michael Dunlop started on a Yamaha and then ended up on a BMW. It's fast. He is absolutely probably the fastest rider, but is the bike set up enough at this point? Guy Martin. Is he ever going to win a TT? I think possibly he can. The world will go mad if Guy Martin can win a TT. He's fast on that bike this year. It's the best bike he's ever had underneath him. On the Kawasaki's, Ian Hutchinson. He has been the fastest throughout practice. He's fit and he's well, and I think this year is his year to come back after that huge accident. And finally, I'm going to say Gary Johnson. He hasn't had a particularly good practice, but he's won on the smaller bikes, and he is also fit and well and very, very hungry. I know it's the old adage, and I'm going to say it again. To finish first, first you must finish. It is 6 laps and it's torturous.
It has been torturous at times for the fans too as they waited for racing to start, but it doesn't seem to bother them. The atmosphere was brewing around the track from early this morning, so we sent James out to take a look at all the top viewing spots from a fan's perspective.
This is Braddon Bridge. We're 2 miles into the course. The bike's going to come down that way. It's a left and it's a right, and then flying out towards Union Mills. The bikes are going to come down a big left and a second gear, then into third and into fourth by the time they pass the end, probably doing about 120 miles an hour, about 2 feet from this barrier here. The reason this is a brilliant place to watch is, look at it. You're upper level. We've got people from Germany, England, Ireland, Portugal just down here. And one of the reasons I used to go and watch with my dad about 35 years ago is because at the back here, there's some Women's Institute ladies selling cups of tea and homemade cakes. And my dad won't watch anywhere around this circuit without being about 50 metres or less away from a cup of tea. We've moved around the course now 9 miles. We're exactly 11 miles in. This corner is now called Molyneux's, after Dave Molyneux. That's Troncovory Straight. The bikes are going to be coming down here, well, Superbikes, best part of 200 miles an hour, and then about 160 as they tip into Molyneux's. It is a really frightening place to watch, I've got to say. One of the most exciting places on the whole course. These guys have been sat here for hours just to get this opportunity to watch at this place. And yes, I did come as a kid with my dad here, and yes, you can still get a cup of tea over there. So we've jumped Ballaugh Bridge, we've been through Ramsey, round the hairpin, we've climbed the mountain. As you can see up here, it's a lot more open, a lot more short circuit style of riding. It's not tree line, it's open, you can see where you're going. This is the highest point on the track. This is Brandywell. The bungalow's just over there. Cregner Bar's down that way, and then all you've got is 6 miles from here, round Governor's Dip and over the start line. And after 6 laps, that's a welcome sight for the riders.
So you've been nosing around talking to a few mechanics. What little tidbits have you picked up this morning for us?
Quite a variation, surprisingly. People like Gaz Johnson making some big changes for the race. Some riders using it as a little bit of a test. I think the Tyco BMW guys, William Dunlop and Guy Martin, a little bit short on practice, not quite happy yet with the final setup, so they're using the first Superbike race as a test for the blue ribbons at the end of the week.
Just looking over here, a lot of guys kind of new to the island as well, and these guys on their little privateer setups as well. It's a very similar experience for them. Again, it's what makes this whole thing so unique.
Yeah, of course, you know, an awful lot of privateers here. It's a big starting grid. A lot of foreign riders as well, but they're all under the same pressure. You know, not manufacturers' pressure, but pressure just for themselves, and obviously to better their own lap times and to enjoy the whole festival.
So every single one of them very soon will be making their way out of Parc Ferme, and they'll be coming up here, up onto the ramp, through that black gate, bringing themselves onto the start line for the start of the 2015 Superbike TT. It's coming to your television screens in just a few minutes. Well, this is the sight we've all been waiting for, the bikes and the riders making their way up to the start line here on the Glencutchery Road. Now fully focused on setting off down Bray Hill. 6 laps of the 37.7 mile circuit, 226 miles in around 1 hour 45 minutes. Imagine it, riding on your bike from London all the way to Manchester using only B roads in around 1 hour 45 minutes. That's how quick it is on the Isle of Man. To get the riders' thoughts before they head off, Stephen James.
Connor third last year and a second in the senior, first today.
All went well, I'll give it my best shot. I'll leave nothing out on the track, and yeah, I'm happy. That's the main thing.
I've been a little bit weak to Glenallen in the last couple of years, so I need to sharpen up on there. Through the bumpy bits I feel is good over the mountain, but I just need to be sharp at the start and really concentrate hard and get my head down, and hopefully them boys won't catch me.
I know where we're at, I know what we can do, so I'll be hunting John down.
I'm just going to say, a couple of years ago, you got a sniff of the big man up front and went 131. Is that the plan for today?
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm going to have to. If I want to be there at the end, that's what we're going to have to do. It's going to be quick.
Just want to cut straight and do those first 2 laps as fast as possible, just get a good start and just go for it, really.
It's Bruce time, 2 o'clock, right time for you?
Yeah, just afternoon, just right for me, so no, just get my head down and hopefully do the job.
Michael, you could have done with a few more laps, I'm sure, but you ready?
Yeah, that's the way of life. Not much more I can do now.
And how right do you think it's going to be?
If you haven't run your life, you wouldn't. It's the same scenario you'd be in, so we'll be all right.
Going to have to use this race as a bit of a test, but yeah, we've made some good changes. I'm pretty confident in the bike. We'll see how we get to Glenallen. I'll be pushing hard, and you know, it's 6 hard laps.
You must be very pleased to be starting on a Paget's bike here at the TT.
Oh yeah, made up to be on the bike. Just feel like I'm not doing it justice at the minute, but always go better in the race. Just could have done with a few extra laps like everyone else, probably.
One question, mate. You ready for this?
Yeah, never been as ready.
Never been as ready. Good luck. Have a great race. Yeah.
So here we go. This should be the most competitive Superbike TT we have seen in years. 56 TT wins across the top 10. Most of them won by this man, John McGuinness, leading the charge down Bray Hill. The island is ready to race. I hope you are too. To talk us through it all, James and Steve.
And finally we're away, and it's number 1, John McGuinness, the start of the Superbike race, and it will be away he goes. Look at that rear tyre deforming, the front wheel comes up in the air, and he's heading towards the lights at the top of Bray Hill.
They're quite bumpy on this section. Across the crossroads. This is number 2. This is James Hillier on the Quattro Plank Kawasaki. That was a good start from James.
It is, and he'll be trying to make up time. He's got John McGuinness in front of him, just one bike in front of him, cold tyres. Michael Dunlop away on the BMW. This is the 3rd lap this bike has done around the TT circuit this year.
Yeah, about, what, 3.5 seconds, no, 200, Steve?
Something like that as he flashes through there, bottom of Bray Hill. This is on board with James Hillier up the other side, over the top of Aggosley. Always awkward now, they've got a full tank of gas. Tyres are not really up to temperature. And here is Bruce Anstey, 45-year-old Bruce Anstey's perfect time for him, 2 o'clock start. He didn't get up till midday and he's happy.
Yeah, he likes a line, does Bruce. See, he's not moving. That's quite bumpy. He's not moving. He's really economical with his body movements and body position on the bike.
There he is, and the Paget's bike will be put together nicely. And here is Tyco BMW, and it is Guy Martin. He sends off away. Brand new bike for him this year, should be put together nicely. Did have some gearbox issues actually throughout practice, and he also went up the slip road. What about this, man?
Yeah, many people's favourite. This is Ian Hutchinson back to full fitness and on a bike that he really and truly believes he can win this race. He's loving the PBM Kawasaki.
Yeah, it's been a 5-year nightmare coming back from that injury at Silverstone. The only man to win 5 teams. You saw the fairing hitting the ground there. John McGuinness as he gets through there, through towards the Glen Hill. Did you see that slam?
The tyres should be well up to temperature by now. We're about 5 miles in now, Steve?
Yeah, absolutely, through Glen Helen section here now, but that was a big old slide there, wasn't it?
Yep, Brooks Ansett, again, really tucked in. This is the high-speed section past the Highlander. I've said Paul, but I don't even think it's open anymore.
No, it isn't, but it's where everyone used to pack up when they were season. On board with Guy Martin now. As he,
this is wrong. This is wrong, Steve. He's stopping. There's something wrong. And this is a fast section. To be honest, on a fast lap, you'd be in the middle of the road. He's getting to it. And you know, you really feel like you've got to get out of the way. And look, you know, you've got to get in a position of safety. You'll know what he's doing now in the gate. Oh, that's his race over.
What a nightmare for Guy Martin. We were expecting him to have a good result here on that bike, but there is the number 3 bike, and it is Michael Dunlop tucked in on there. We know that he's going to have some issues with this bike, but you'd think so. The bike hasn't been set up, he hasn't had much time. Remember, it started with the Yamaha, and he's now on the BMW.
Yeah, I have to say, it looks like, look at the yokes, you can see those two red adjusters moving. This is Bruce Ansett, same spot, and this is flashing through Kirk Michael. We're about half a lap in now.
Yeah, and again, pretty bumpy. It's been resurfaced, and you can see him trying to cling onto the bike all the time. We're on board with William Dunlop on the other Tyco BMW. Let's hope this is a bit more reliable. Getting that suspension working over time as they go through Kirk Michael.
Yeah, this is William Dunlop, number 6 and number 7. That's Garth Johnson. He's well up on time on William Dunlop. This is Ian Hutchinson, same spot. He's set off 20 seconds behind Garth Johnson. So he looks like he's up on time, and he is. He's leading.
Absolutely, yeah. .263, so he's just in front of Bruce Ansett's nip and tuck, but this is only the first lap. And look at this, the high motion camera. Look at the forks extending fully. He's off the ground, and then it comes down. Watch that rear tyre as it hits the ground, and look at it deforming.
He's going to deform because this man, it is James Hillier, is leading by Balap, but just by 0.3 of a second.
As we see, Michael Dunlop, and that bike does look a handful, really does. He said he hasn't had much practice time on it.
Yeah, that's one of the bumpiest parts of the track, the Upmere Hill. You can surely remember that, Steve, just how bumpy that was, and it still is. Oh, the things.
He is bucking around, isn't it, everywhere, and he's moving his body weight around everywhere. John McGuinness, we saw him sliding early, he's pushing on.
Yeah, this is a Guthries, and he still doesn't look the most stable thing at the rear out there. To me, this is on the mountain climb, still leads on the road, does John.
Through there, look at the lovely conditions. You can see Ramsey in the sea in the background, and there is Hutchie. That's James Hillier.
Yeah, and that means Hillier must be up on time. He's still up on time because he set off 10 seconds behind, and that wasn't 10 seconds.
I have to say, James Hillier has been the surprise, really. He wasn't very fast in practice, but he said he got some issues, but he's got the bike working really well. So is this guy.
Yeah, still leading just by now. This is Hutchinson as he piles up towards Ramsey Hairpin.
The guys are saying it's even bumpier this year. They've done some road works around here. You can see the change of surfaces as they climb up here. Stella Maris coming up through here. In a minute we'll come under, and you can see where the road has been moved and adjusted around where they've done some road works up to the slowest corner, or about the slowest corner on the circuit here at Ramsey. And let's have a look at where they all are right now at Ramsey Hairpin. It's Hillier. Look at that, 0.43 of a second to Anstie. Hutchinson just there as well. Michael Dunlop also in 4th.
Michael Dunlop still working hard. He's almost at the top of the mountain now. This is the bungalow section. Quite a familiar section. Lots of people out there watching today, Steve. Good weather always drags them up.
Yeah, you couldn't get better conditions for the race out here. Very clear visibility. Temperature a bit chilly. There's Connor Cummins, number 10 on the other hand. He's in 8th position as he goes up towards Ramsey.
Yep, going up towards Schoolhouse and then in towards Parliament Square. Big lad on that. This is a 1000cc bike. Look at it,
He's just going past his hometown now. All the fans are out there at the moment. And there is Bruce Anstey, number 5. He's out of the 32nd down to Windy Corner, and he's leading. Bruce at the bungalow was leading by 0.35 per second. Now touches his first lap.
Yeah, this is 3 leaders in 1 lap now. And this is John McGuinness running down the mountain, and we know that James Hillier on the Kawasaki is somewhere behind him, is tailing him.
And there's the helicopter trying to do his best to chase number 1, John McGuinness. There's the new surface at Kempgate. The guys think it's a little bit faster. We're on board now with Hillier.
Yeah, and we should get a sight of John McGuinness at some point if we get on this long shot down towards Craig Navarre. Because just in front of Hillier is John McGuinness. This is Gary Johnson.
Yeah, number 7, going quite nicely there.
holding 6th at this point, but it's changing quite quickly now on this first lap.
Young man that had a lot of problems in practice, but it's all sorted out. Right, James Hillier over the start and finish line, or heading up towards it. We'll get to know exactly what's going on. Who's in front down at the grandstand? Going to lead him.
Yeah, so your leader should be Bruce Anstey, but this is Michael Dunlop. He's over the line and still working hard with that. But look at him, York's moving there. That means it's steady. Is he trying to adjust something there, Steve? Right, so we've got Bruce Anstey. We need to wait till he comes over the line, and then we've got to wait for Ian Hutchinson because he was holding 2nd and then 3rd, so he's in the hunt somewhere.
No, he's fighting that bike, he really is. Bruce goes over on the 5-blade, that's the bike he knows it so well, and he looks so much smoother. There it is, the clock is ticking. We're going to find out in a minute, is it Anstey or is it Hutchinson that leads this at the end of lap 1? 17 and 18. Hutchinson's just in front of him. Lap 1 on board with Hutchie. He is the leader over the traffic lights, and that looks a little steadier than the BMW, I have to say. He's in 5th. Oh, I'm about to say it's as steady as that, but it's not. Through the dip of Bray Hill, there's the curve. And there it is at the end of lap 1. Hutchinson leads by 1.21. Hillier, Michael Dunlop, John McGuinness and Johnson. 5 laps to go of this race. Right, lap 2, and we're up on the mountain, and there's confirmation now as we are. 1.21 seconds. Anstey is behind Hutchinson. Hillier not so far back either.
This is Bruce at Brandywell. This is the highest point on the course. Now then, James Hillier has now sneaked in front of John McGuinness. They set off 10 seconds apart with John McGuinness in front.
And there it is, yeah, that's the part. It looked like speed, horsepower there from the Kawasaki. It did. That won't help John McGuinness. It won't be doing his head any good because he wouldn't have been wanted to be passed by that man. I wouldn't have expected it either. Michael Rutter on the BMW is getting wriggling. And look at the tyre mark. Rear tyre braking as they come in. We've got a proper short circuit race on here.
Yeah, look at the battle behind him. This is Ian Hutchinson that has now passed William Dunlop and Gaz Johnson. He's off 20 seconds behind Gaz and 30 seconds behind William, so Hutchie is on a charge.
And he's done well to pass them coming up towards Ramsey. It's not an easy place to get through, so Hutchie flying.
Yeah, we're looking back from William Dunlop towards Gaz Johnson. This is Dave Johnson, the number 16. He's BMW mounted as well as Smith's BMW is the Adelaide boy.
And he's being chased by number 70, Peter Hickman there on the Briggs equipment. BMW as well. They're just outside the top 10, but going well.
Yep.
Pit stops coming. John McGuinness was so late on the brakes, got it stopped.
Yep, he's done plenty of it. 60 kilometres an hour is all that's allowed in the pits, and if you go over, you get a big penalty.
Bruce coming in now. They've got new pit fillers this year. They've got shorter nozzles and supposedly less likely to spill fuel as we get Hillier being pushed away. They've got self-start as well, but he gets away nicely.
That's a good stop. They came in together, and John is wiping his hands, his gloves. He's got petrol on there. That makes it really slippy. This is Dunlop, and this is a long stop. 1 minute 10 seconds. It is a really long stop, Steve.
The fast stops are about 56 seconds, so he has lost well over 10 seconds there for Michael Dunlop. He needed that, didn't he?
Yeah, and again, 60 miles an hour till they cross the exit of the pit. This is Lee Johnston. Again, on the East Coast Construction BMW, he's out. Finger off the button, away you go. Oh, yeah, they see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of horsepower coming out there as we get the number 2 bike of Hillier there. That was over the Balacry jump, and here you're going to see it in high motion. Look at it, it's got off there a bit crooked, and you know that. But that it is now. Look at this, Hutchinson 4 seconds in front of Anstey, Dunlop 3rd.
With Dunlop again, having to make up for him, disastrous fuel stop. Kind of 12 seconds slow. Connor Cummins, he's inside the top 10, he's the marksman and looking steady.
And that's over the top of Ballast Spur, dropping down this long left here, fast. Again, you can see the rubber being laid down. The track is getting grippier and grippier.
One of the problems is when it's sunny like this, you're in and out of the trees, and it takes a little bit of a time for your pupils to adjust. This is James Hillier, Quattro Plank Kawasaki, lying 3rd. This is him climbing out up Mayhill, out of Ramsey now towards Hairpin.
You can see how much they're fighting to keep the front wheel down, and on board with Michael Dunlop on the recalcitrant BMW. It really is a handful here today.
He's having a real workout, and again, the rear wheel just skipping off that tarmac because all the braking's been done by the front end.
And here comes Bruce. He's closing him down, and also he's made up that time as Bruce Anstey on the 5 bike, chasing the number 3. It's in his sights now, or it certainly will be when they get get up on the mountain.
Yeah, on corrected time, he's well in front of Michael Dunlop, the number 3 bike now. This man is your leader. This is in Hutchinson, had a brilliant fuel stop.
And we know Carl Font is sat on the left there.
He is.
That's where he's spectating from today.
Yeah, this is Schoolhouse. In towards Parliament Square as Hillier descends the mountain. John McGuinness is sticking with him just about.
He's clinging on there, isn't it? We ride with John McGuinness now as they hurtle down. This is towards Hilbury now. Fast corner this. They'll go back 2 gears. Tip it in there. McGuinness a bit later. Goes in there a bit faster. He's right on the back of Hillier now, but of course he's 10 seconds back. Bruce Anstey.
Yeah, Bruce Anstey always looks smooth. You don't need me to tell you that this is Craignabar, the most iconic spectator point on the whole course, I would think, and as he blasts off down towards Brandish.
And it's a very fast part because it is downhill. Right, back on board, William Dunlop. He's got past Michael Rutter. There's Michael Rutter, number 4 behind him. Rutter doing everything he can to stay in the wheel tracks.
Yeah, he set off 20 seconds in front of William Dunlop, did Rutter. He's sticking with him now, but remember, he's 20...
What a lovely shot. That is such good onboard material as they went down towards Craignabar. There it is at the end of lap 3, and it's 4.79 seconds that Hutchinson has over Anstey now, and Dunlop further 18 seconds back.
Yep, he's overhauled Hillier.
Through Bray Hill again and over the top. Number 1, number 2, number 3. How close do you like it? Different lines, but they are in such a race here.
Yep, 3 of the best riders around this course. That was McGuinness, it was Hillier, and it was Michael Dunlop. Michael Dunlop in front. He's of those 3, he was 3rd, and then 4th for Hillier. 6th now is McGuinness.
Yeah, and that's going to be difficult for Michael Dunlop to get past, but he is going to do it round the outside. It should be difficult, but he makes her short. But well, it's on Sulby Straight. He's just used the horsepower of the BMW. He just powered past.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, number 9, Hutchie is wringing the neck of that bike, but he knows he's losing time. He's dropping away all the time from Anstey.
Yeah, Anstey's started to put on a little bit of a charge now. And you know, a smooth Anstey with a bit between his teeth. He's a lap record holder after all. This is, yeah, William Dunlop, and there, that is Michael Rutter, and that's Gaz Johnson. He's in front of that little trio on corrected time.
There's some great scraps going on there. Dunlop's got, we saw him get past Hillier. Where's he going to get past now? Number 1, John McGuinness. The bikes are squirming around. Whoa, different lines again. Look at that. He's right in the curb there.
Yep.
Number 53 bombs through there. That's...
Dave Madsen Migdal is the Isle of Man guy. He's got more, well, I think more TT finishes than anybody else now, as Dave.
Speed trap time there for Hutchinson, 193.95. That's at Sulby.
Yeah, we're riding now on board with Connor Cummins.
Coming down it, Kirk Michael, isn't it? London Road, and he's slowing.
He is. This isn't right.
No, not at all. That's unusual for the Honda Fireblade. Normally so reliable, but Cummins is out. Very disappointing for him.
Yeah, you've got to pull to the left, keep out of the way. Here we are at the hairpin.
Here we get the split. Is Hutchinson getting away, or is Anstey closing? What is it going to be? It was 4 seconds, but now it's 2 seconds now. Hutchinson just 2 seconds up.
Yep, he's been closed down by Bruce Anstey. Now, Michael Dunlop holding a steady 3rd. Gaz Johnson's now got past William Dunlop and Michael Rutter, and obviously in front of them on corrected time.
Up we come to Guthrie's again. Ramsey in the background, and they nip through there nicely, climbing the hill. John McGuinness, number 1.
Yep, we're going to expect that Michael Dunlop's going to come past at any point. Difficult, big head shake from the big Fireblade there.
This is the mountain mile where you can't pull top speed. You're climbing all the way up here. The air gets a bit thinner. You feel it. It gets colder as well, and there goes Dunlop.
That had to happen. He's been behind him for some time now.
Number 15, Dan Neen. Dust flying everywhere again towards Schoolhouse.
Yeah, really impressive. Well inside the top 10 is Dan, another Manxman. Missing round his home country. I'm impressed with Dan. I like Dan. This is probably the best bike he's ever been on, the Padgett's Honda. This is Bruce.
Closing down. Bruce getting faster and faster, but that's typical of Bruce Anstey.
It is. He's going down the mountain again. This is Craignabar, using all the road, and well, he might.
And there is number 53 again, Dave Maxton Migdal on the 1000 Honda, about to get a lesson from the number 9 of Ian Hutchinson on the Paul Bird Motorsport machine. They go round Craig Nabar and hurtle off down that hill, that second gear corner. Nice and neat from Hutchie goes down, but he's got to push on because Anstey is closing him down. Will he get past the 53? But he will. There's a slight right kink and then it's the fast left as you get to Brandish.
Yeah, what you tend to find is the faster men have the faster bikes now. This is 86, this is Alan Bonner, Southern Irish lad. He's trying hard here as well, actually.
That's the Norton there.
It is.
Cam Donald on number 19, the Norton. It looks very good, but it's not actually running that well. Certainly not as high up as I was expecting it.
Yeah, might not be running perfect, but it does sound well. Everybody says that really loud. There's no silencing whatsoever on that exhaust of the Norton.
Yeah, it's got the Aprilia engine in it. They are going to build their own engine, but they've been working hard. It's coming in the pit stop again, and McGuinness, look, he's making up time again. Visors come up. Wow, look at this. This pit stop is going to be absolutely critical. 0.2 of a second in it for the lead at the moment. It is going to be a real push and shove and tight one here.
Yeah, and this is why you need your pit crew to do their job properly. All these super experienced boys, you know, seconds can be so critical in this pit stop.
Bruce is away, pushing off. He gets down there, keeping the pit lane button on. You can see the speed coming on, 54 kilometres an hour at that point. Hutchie, they're trying to brim it up. He needs a full tank. They've got 2 laps to go. He goes off as well. So we're coming up. The button will go off as soon as he gets out. The front wheel will come up in the air, and he fires it off down Bray Hill. Hutchie is so close. Right, we have about 80 miles to go, and it's New Zealand versus Yorkshire. Hutchinson leads by 0.28 of a second over Bruce Anstey, and the bike is wriggling around, and that's the fast section up towards Union Mills. You can see now he's gone back into third gear underneath the trees, flicking it right, and then left onto the fast bit up towards Ballacary.
Yeah, and there's not the most stable thing. They got a real wobble now. This is Bruce Anstey, John McGuinness, and
same place, yeah.
Yeah, it is. This is Griever Bridge. Big roller in the middle there. The bike wants to take off out towards Gorsley now.
Yep, this is out of Gorsley down towards Ballacrane, isn't it? That's the section there, the fast part by Harold's Cottage.
Yeah, and this is Hillier. He's down in 4th. Good ride from James Hillier. Really good ride.
Shifting his body weight around, trying to get it to change direction. The gyroscopic effect you get from the wheels as the front wheel comes up there on the number 3 bike of Michael Dunlop. He's still fighting it really hard. On board with Hutches now. This is coming up towards Perkins Bend, and it's fast through here, and word is coming through. Anstey's just got in front of him.
Yeah, and at Glen Ellen, Anstey held a slim lead, and remember, this is the man. Now he's past the traffic. Difficult to say that people going as quick as James Hillier and Michael Dunlop are traffic, but that's exactly what they are for Anstey.
On board with William Dunlop on the Tyco BMW.
How was that? That is that. No, that's going to be. Now Rutter's got back in front.
And he is as they come up towards Ramsey Hairpin, but we now know that Bruce Anstey has a slim lead over Hutchie as he goes off, powers out underneath the trees up the hill there. That was the corner where Gary Johnson fell off last year. So Bruce Anstey is really piling on the pressure up on the mountain there, and you can see how hard he is having to work, using every scrap of the road.
Yep, and this is your new leader. Full flight Anstey, something to watch. James Hillier holding a really good 4th.
Yeah,
again, another really smooth rider, Steve, is James.
Yeah, he's having a good one, but there is Hutchie, Ian Hutchinson on the number 9. Paul Bird machine goes through there, out of the 33rd into Keppelgate, tips it in there nice and smoothly, but he's going to have to get the pace going because this man, Bruce Anstey, goes over the line to start the last lap, and we know he's out in front now.
Yeah, 1 lap to go. That's a long way, 6 laps around it. Here we go. Now, Michael Rutter. This is Michael Rutter, number 4. Number 6, William Dunlop. And number 7, Gaz Johnson. They've been getting together for some time now.
Yeah, Gaz Johnson having a good ride out there. He had some problems, as we said earlier, in practice. As we look back at Gaz Johnson, we're on board with William Dunlop down towards the Craig.
Yeah, William Dunlop 8th, and Gaz Johnson holding a good 6th. He is having a good ride, is Gaz.
This, but Bruce Anstey getting everyone waving and cheering him. They want to see him win this Superbike race as much as he wants to.
Yeah, we're back on board with Hillier. Number 71, AJ Venter, the South African. Number 2, Hillier. Number 1, John McGuinness sticking with him.
Here is Bruce now, and it's all going good for him. Bruce Anstey looking very much like he's going to take his 10th TT win, the big one, the one he wanted. That's the helicopter shots, try and do their best, and look at this, they're waving Hutchie on as well, but it's going to look hard to him to try and make up that gap. It's about a 4-second gap now, and the bikes are still wriggling around. Michael Dunlop's still fighting that BMW.
Yeah, and that's him.
Oh, Bruce nearly hit him.
Well, that was actually Michael Dunlop going past him, swinging across in front of Bruce Anstey, just showing him.
There's number 15, Dan Neen, flies splattered all over the front of the bike and on his visor, but having a great ride here, the local man, the Manxman.
Yeah, he really is. Now down into Craig, still Bruce in front.
Well, Bruce has got back in front,
he
hasn't
has,
he?
yeah.
He's done that over the mountain section there, so Bruce out in front, and he's got about 3 miles to go. We're on board with Gaz Johnson up to on, and he's down. Gary Johnson's gone out of 6th place. That's Guthrie's. Oh, I tell you what, he's been very low. The bike's just gone down the middle of the road. So, bikes are going past us. Gary Johnson goes out of 6th position.
Yep, this is James Hillier, still grouped together with John McGuinness. Hillier holding 4th.
Michael Dunlop, we know he's in 3rd position at the moment.
Having a good last lap. He's definitely trying for a...
Wow, but down he goes. So Michael Dunlop's crashed out of 3rd place on the BMW. He's in the middle of the track there. So that is dramas going on here at the moment. Yellow flags are out as they're going in. We're just yards, really, meters away. Everyone's out the way. There's another bike.
Yeah, there's 2 riders involved, so there's another rider involved.
But Bruce Anstey, the number 5 Paget Honda, goes over the line to take his 10th TT win, his first in the Superbike class. And we have a red flag for that incident at the end there. So that's the end of the Superbike race.
Bruce, can you believe it? Finally, a big job on the big bikes.
I know, I can't believe it really. I just came across the line, I just had to sit down there, just wait for those minutes to pass to actually come over and just make sure I've won it, and no, I just can't believe it. Been waiting for years for this one. Like I say, I won 250 races, 600 races, super stock races, and this is the one I wanted. This finally happened.
I was sort of riding, telling myself not to be tense at the start, and I was leading, so I thought I don't need to start pulling away, just keep it at this. And I sort of settled down lap 4, and that's when he took a bit out of me. He pushed harder and I settled down a bit, and I maybe shouldn't have, but give it all I had, and it wasn't enough today.
I hope obviously Mike was right there, but you know, that is one emotional roller coaster. It's such a hard, mentally it's so hard, that race. So to be here now is just a dream, and I'm made up, thank you.
Why so difficult out there?
Just because you're not supposed to ride around here that hard, you know. That's the way it's going though, and that was hard.
They said you'd never ride again here, Hutchie.
I know, yeah. I've got 2 surgeons, Mr. Kirkovich and Mr. Watt, David Watt from Bradford Royal Infirmary, and Mattia Kirkovich is now at Cambridge, and they saved my leg, so, you know, I want to win for them.
You seem quite emotional about this one. It meant that much to you.
Yeah, I've been looking for the big super race for years, and it's almost here, and today's the day.
So Bruce Anstey, after 72 starts, 52 finishes, finally bags the big one on a big bike. Ian Hutchinson, well, finishing is a victory for him, considering his recent past 30 operations since that crash in 2010. A podium is just a bonus. James Hillier, emotional, takes 3rd place. John McGuinness, William Dunlop and Michael Rutter make up the top 6. Well, there was very little jumping round on the podium. 6 laps at that pace, really taking it out of these guys. But a 10th win for Bruce Anstey, a very popular man in the paddock, a popular man right across the motorsport world, as is Michael Dunlop. We know he crashed out at the Nuke. He was a bit banged up, but was still able to hobble out of the ambulance, make his way into the paddock and give us this reaction.
Just tell us what happened and how you are after the crash.
I just caught Bruce in the road past him, and Bruce got a bit of a
dirty slide out of Kate's, and Bruce got by me, and I just thought, we're only a couple of miles from home, just let Bruce, you know, I knew as soon as board it was leading in 5 seconds, so I just left him alone. So and then we just come up against 2 bike markers, and Bruce passed one of them into the nook, and I was going to, and I thought, nah, you don't know, sometimes you just bike mark, you don't know where they're going to be in the road, and I wished I had passed him, and I don't know why he got spooked with Bruce, or why he tried to follow Bruce in or not, I don't know, he ran on too deep, and he ran out of road, and he hit the bank, and before I knew it, I was clobbered, and down I went.
So how's the body? Obviously got a really busy day tomorrow, Super Sport, well first of all Super Stock and then Super Sport right at the end of the day. Are you going to be fit enough for tomorrow, because you are fastest already on the Super Stock bike?
Yeah, I'm going to be sore probably, I'm going to be sore of a few bones and stuff and whatnot, but it's not nothing that shouldn't hinder what this right hand and that left foot needs to do, so I just need to keep my head down and batter on, but I don't know until the morning. I'm stiff and sore. I've got some stuff in around my hips here to try and cure all the pain in my hips, so if we can just get tonight over, Steve, and just see where we're going to be. So just disappointed for the lads. The boys had to fix the bike, you know what I mean? The bikes took a bit of a thump, so it's just the way it is.
So we now know Michael isn't too badly injured, quite shook up, but not too badly injured. The good news is that Scott Wilson, who was involved in that accident, broke his clavicle, so nothing too serious there. Now, when Michael Dunlop was just 9 years old in Iowa in the United States, Victory Motorcycles were producing their first ever bike. No talk of an electric bike back then, but here and now they've got 2 of them on the grid for the TT0. This is their story.
How different is it circulating the TT course?
Just saying how nice and peaceful it is, and do you know what I mean? And like obviously we were on the Superbikes before, and they just drag you around, like, so to get on something like this is so smooth and quiet and peaceful, and that time of evening it was absolutely beautiful going over the mountain, so I enjoyed it personally. Like,
how much is left in the tank, should we say?
I wouldn't want to give too much away to our competitors, but there's a bit. So we went out a little bit conservatively for the first practice, and we're pleasantly surprised both in the lap time and then also what we came back with. So we will be able to turn up the power a little bit and do a little better. We'll see how much better we can do.
How different is this to riding the old 2-strokes, especially when you're closing the throttle as such?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because like the no engine braking thing as well. It's kind of, you've got a bit, but you can't control it, so you have to have everything for everywhere. So it's a weird feeling not having that sort of control sort of thing. So it's quite similar in ways. It's similar definitely in the way that X corner. It's like a 2-stroke in the way in. Now it's not there yet, but they'll make the changes to sit like. But no, it's definitely good fun.
It's important to have riders like these guys because the bike's got so much development already gone into it, but we need the riders to give us the feedback to know where we can go faster and where we can push it more. So we've already had a ton of help from these guys and the suspension guys that they work with to get the bike set up, and I think it's paid off. So we make sure the bike's good and reliable from a technology point of view, and they figure out how to make it go faster.
It's obviously the future when it's all progressing. All you have to do is look at Save and the Mugen for the jumps they've taken in 3 years is absolutely unbelievable. So for us to come straight in, and first lap for me and William was like 104, 105, never sat on the bike on the road or anything, and first time the bike's been here, you know what I mean? That's a decent time for any motorbike. Anything over 100 mile an hour is good. So like Brian says, if we can turn the wick up a little bit, and obviously we were conservative in the way we were going around, you know what I mean? It's the first lap and you're a little bit cautious as to what's going to happen and stuff, but yeah, I think there's definitely a lot more speed in the bike, and yeah, looking forward to it.
But for me, these bikes are beautiful. They kind of resemble, you know, the old 250 class, and I'm desperate to ride one.
We'll look deeper into the world of the TT0 a bit later in the week, but boys, that podium today was extraordinary in so many ways. Each individual had a story to tell and should be very pleased. Let's start with the main man, if you don't mind, Bruce Anstey.
Yeah, I mean, the story to tell there was that it was his 10th win, but most importantly, it was his Superbike win. The big class, he'd won the lightweights, he'd won the 600, the super stockers, but he wanted the Superbike win, and he told us that at the beginning of the week, and I'm not sure if we all believed him, but we do now.
I know Hutchie kind of sniffed a victory there, but he should be so pleased he was on that podium. He finished a race, remarkable considering.
Yeah, it was a great result, you know, and Hutchie's been kind of fast all the time here so far. Most sessions he's been kind of topping the scales, but, you know, was fast out the traps in the race today. But for some reason, he said actually, there was a few spots of rain around the circuit. Michael Dunlop said the same when he checked down to make sure he wasn't overheating and losing water, but it didn't rain too much, but he said it kind of fried his brain a little bit, and then the seed was set there for him to slow down.
Talking about fried brains, James Hillier was very emotional afterwards, and he said he just can't believe they were racing like that. He seemed to be quite overawed by the experience.
Yeah, and remember that James went about 5 miles an hour quicker in the race than he has all the way through practice and qualifying. So he was considerably quicker, and things were happening a lot quicker, and he was pushing on. He got stuck in behind John McGuinness and kind of got a sight of him early on, and that dragged him through. But yeah, it's an emotional thing anyway, and he had a good result at the end of it. Not expected by him going into that last lap, but the way it worked out, yeah, brilliant podium for James.
The time differences are minute these days, so those pit stops are absolutely crucial. And there were some issues today, Steve, with I don't know, with the fuel feed or something going on there. Quite a few guys had problems, didn't they? What was happening?
Yeah, quite a few problems, kind of inconsistent. There was no issues with changing rear tyres. Everything was good to go at the end of the pit stop, but unfortunately, it seemed a bit inconsistent the amount of time it was taking for the fuel to come down from the holder down, obviously into the fuel tank. So quite a few people are not complaining, but just kind of a bit baffled at why it took so long. John McGuinness was shaking his head and just was not happy at all.
Nobody was really complaining, lads, because finally we got racing today. Isn't that fantastic? And we are now up and running in race week. Tomorrow night we're going to bring you all the action from the Super Stock TT. So from all of us here, until tomorrow on ITV4 at 9 o'clock.